Alright, a while back ago, I'd created a video about T3 Stack, and the whole premise of the video is, hey, I use T3 Stack to scaffold and create my Next.js application. And in that video, I had gotten a comment from this guy who was basically telling me that he had switched from using T3 Stack to using a stack called Better T Stack. We're going to get into what that is. And I was like, you know what? Let me check this out. And when I looked into it, I'm totally surprised by how good it is. And so I figured I'll make a little video about this and tell you guys about that Better T Stack. So without further ado, let's get into it. So what's this entire deal with Better T3 Stack? I mean, what does it do differently than other, ways you could scaffold your application? So the things that it does differently, it's literally written on top of its website. So it's just you can roll your own stack. And basically it allows you to create your own stack. You can pick what you want in your app to have, and you can do that. And so go to bettertstack.dev. I'm going to link it in the description, by the way, so don't worry. And in the stack builder thing, click on the start button, and this kind of builder window is going to pop up. And here what you can do is what you think you can do, literally. You could pick everything that you want. So for instance, I like to use Next.js in the front end, and I don't want any native front end. I just say no native front end. And for the back end, usually I just use full stack Next.js. But there's just one little problem with Better T-Stack. If you make an application where the front end is of Next.js and the back end is of full stack Next.js, what's going to happen is it's not really going to ship you with one Next.js application. It's going to create two separate applications, and I don't usually want that. I mean, technically, you could just fix things up yourself. You could just do a little bit of editing and it'll work, but that's just one limitation. I guess they're going to patch it up pretty soon. But let's say for the backend, I'm going to use Hano, and for the runtime, I'm just going to go with Node.js. And for the API, let's just stick with TRPC. For the database, let's just say I'm going to use PostgreSQL. I don't know why it's so hard to pronounce. And for the ORM, we're just going to stick with Drizzle. For the database setup, you know what? I'm going to use Neon. And for the web deployment, let's forget it for now. And for the authentication, I'm a really big fan of Better Auth, so I'm just going to stick with it. For payments, we're not really going to have any payments for now. For a package manager, let's select PNPM, because that's usually what I use. And for add-ons, I do like to use Biome, but I'm going to skip it for now. And you could use Turbo Repo, for your stuff. And I don't really want a example. I just want a simple scaffolded project. So I'm not going to select anything. I do want it to initialize a Git repository, so I'm going to select that. And I want it to install my dependencies. Now what you do once you've basically quote-unquote build your stack, you could name your project, and let's just say I call it my project. Kind of a pretty basic name. You can be a lot creative here. And the next step is pretty simple. You just copy this whole command. You go to any terminal, you literally paste it, and you press enter, and it's done. And now since I selected Neon, it's going to ask me, do I want a automatic setup or do I want a manual one? I'm just going to go with manual. It's pretty simple for me. And it's going to start installing libraries. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my project, and I'm going to open it in Visual Studio Code. And now you can see I have my application. I have my server, I have my web front end with Next.js and Hona as my backend, and it just works. And if you want to run it, you just run pnpm dev and it works. And so that's the Better T-Stack, guys. I really enjoyed using it, so I just thought I'll make a video about it. And that's about it. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe if you want to, and have a nice day.